If you can't deal with a no, you're probably going to suck. What I've tried to convey to people in the last couple of years is don't be a salesperson. Sales is close to being a four-letter word. Be
Do you suck at sales? Me too. So in this episode, I invited a sales expert, business owner, Glen Ingram, the founder of Web Search Pros.
I think the biggest thing is to have a conversation and to make everything conversational.
We're going to discuss what is it like to convert your leads into actual customers, what are the sales psychology that goes into every single sales that you're making, and how to level up yourself as a marketer and also as a marketing leader. So in this episode, we are going to learn how to become better at sales, either in a spoken form or written form, but we will learn the most important sales tactics that Glen, as an expert, has been using over the past 2 decades. I know often sales and marketing have a lot of disagreement in between each other, and many times as marketers, we don't want to be associated with sales. But listen, in order to make money, you have to know what a good sales funnel looks like, how to convert your leads into actual paying customers. So we can become better marketers by learning the right sales psychology. So let's get into the episode. Let's start with what was the biggest sale you have ever made? Or what is that one time sale when you were like, yes, I did it?
For just a one-time, one-check sale, I did one, 10, 12 years ago. It was back probably 78, 88. It was somewhere between 75 and like a $90,000 check. That was kind of cool for a one-time thing. So yeah, that was the biggest sale I got for just a check one time. I've had a lot of reoccurring things that have added up to more than that, but that was the largest one sale, one check type of thing.
And what industry were you a salesperson for at the time?
Back then, that was when I was doing phone book and digital. And so it was with an auto dealer that had a body shop that did auto service, auto repair and stuff like that. So yep, that's what I was doing back then.
Amazing. And could you share with us how you started in sales in the first place, especially that one moment that you still remember and you told me it was like a turning point for you?
Sure. After school, I worked in operations management. So I helped run either portions or divisions of companies from an operational standpoint, not from selling, just running companies basically. And at one point I was running a region of a company, and my now ex-wife made the comment that I would always probably make more money selling for someone than just running a portion of their business. So I looked at it and thought she's probably right. And so I convinced the owner of the company to give me a shot as a regional sales manager. And I hadn't been in the job maybe less than a month. Now it seems like it was pretty quickly, but this was a minute or two ago. And they sent me out to a part of the country that I'd never been in before. And so I think I get it on a Sunday night. And literally on Monday, I sat in my hotel room, scared to death, afraid, didn't know what the hell I was doing, until finally sometime that afternoon or evening, I thought, you know what? No one knows me here. If I act like an idiot, if I sound stupid, I'm never going to see him again. So I said, screw it. I got out the next day and I started going and talking to people.
How did you find people in the first place? So back then, what was your strategy to get out to meet people?
I think back then I was using a service back in the USA called Info USA. Mm-hmm. It was a huge business directory that I could search by industries, by products, by services and stuff like that. And so I was working in a transportation company that would send big semi trucks out to that part of the country. And I needed to find people with products or services that needed to go back to bring the trucks back so they could start all over again. So I'm pretty sure it was Info USA or something like that.
That's great. I also like in your story where you kind of decided mentally that this is now or never. Like you have decided that this is going to be a now or never thing. And who cares what other people think? I'm going to get out from this state anyway. And I think a lot of people still not going through this hurdle in their head, like getting a no is not the end of the world. My next question is though, why do people suck at sales? In your opinion?
I think from a statement you just made there, if you can't deal with a no, you're probably going to suck, because you're going to get a lot more no's than you're ever going to get yeses. It's kind of like back in high school, college, if you can't deal with a girl saying no to you, you may not get some dates because your ego is going to get crushed. It's the same in sales. You're going to hear more no's than yeses. So if you can't deal with no's, don't start, or learn how to deal with no's. And then just get out of your own way. Most people's biggest obstacle is the 6 inches between their ears. It's their self-limiting beliefs, their self-limiting ideas. They're wondering this or wondering that. The best way to do anything, I think, is just jump in with both feet and swim.
Exactly.
Like they used to teach people how to swim. Throw them in the river. If they make it back, they can swim. If not, bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye. Right. One aspect of it is also like so many people suck at sales because they don't want to do sales, and the reason why they don't want to do sales because they hate being sold to. And see it over and over again where people like, oh, you do marketing, oh, you do sales, you must be tricking people, and like they have this like very passive aggressive slash negative belief with what we do. What's your opinion on that? Like, do you think it's like true or is it BS? So what is?
I think it is what you make of it, and it is how you do it. If you are going to try and be a sleazy salesperson, you're going to be a sleazy salesperson. What I've tried to convey to people in the digital marketing space in the last couple of years is don't be a salesperson. Sales is close to being a four-letter word. Be a service solutions provider. Provide people help. If you're helping somebody, they're more willing to spend money with you. People don't like to be sold to. They like to have someone that's going to provide solutions, provide services. They want their day, their week, their work, their job to be easier. So if you can find ways to make people's jobs easier, you're not really selling them, you're helping them make their lives better.
And when you train other people, when you were a sales manager, director, did you see that it's more like a mental game that you had to teach your employees?
100%. I can't tell you how many times I would hear, well, what if this happens? And I would say, what if it doesn't? What if they ask this? What if they don't? The biggest thing that I've seen people is they were so concerned, so worried about being an expert that you really don't have to be an expert. As long as I know more about what I'm talking about than you do, in the eyes of the person you're talking to, you are the expert. And people don't have to be or shouldn't be afraid of not knowing something. We're all human. None of us know everything. The one thing I always try to convey to them is I've never had a customer throw something at me when I said, I don't know that and I don't want to BS you. Is it okay if I contact my expert and follow up with you tomorrow? Because A, they're going to know you're human. And B, they're going to feel good about the fact that you feel they're important enough to go contact that expert and then follow up with them. But you have to make sure you do follow back up with them, either with the information or to say, you know what, this is what's going on. Can I have a little bit more time to get you the answer you wanted, Mr. or Mrs. Customer?
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that because it also opens up our mind of, again, not being afraid of being rejected and how to deal with potential rejection. It's like kind of taking it in a more positive note. Which is next question though, is that do you think that sales and marketing are inherently same or different? Like how are they different in your eye or similar?
I think sales is a little bit more direct. Marketing may be a little bit more indirect. With sales, you're talking to the people either once you've got them interested or once marketing has got them interested. With marketing, you're trying to kind of build that top end of the funnel. And as they trickle down, then sales gets more involved and marketing kind of goes away unless you're using marketing data as part of your sales presentation. So yeah, when you're looking at a funnel of a sales, your marketing's at the top, your sales is at the bottom.
Yeah. One time you also mentioned that like sales is also number driven at one point because when you talk to another person or your lead essentially or your future client, you also mentioned like, you know what, if you pay me this much, this is how I'm going to give you back. Like what's your strategy there? Like what's your tactic there?
Yeah, I think those are kind of two different questions there. So let's go with just numbers. When you're dealing with people, the further you are away from them, the more numbers or the more contacts you have. If I'm doing old school and going knocking on doors and talking to people, I might only have to try and get a hold of 20 or 30 doors a day. If I'm making a phone call, so it's easier for you just to hang up on me or to say, no, the owner's not there, I might have to call 100, 200 calls a day. If I'm going to send emails, I might need to send 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 emails a day to get I'm further up on the funnel, so I have to have more contacts. When we're talking numbers there, it's just basic return on investment or ROI. So when I'm meeting with somebody, I always have like an agenda and a sales process. So when I'm going down my sales process, it'll start with, getting to know the person so they know you, they know me and stuff and I know them. Then as I'm getting down there, I'm doing a needs analysis. I'm finding out what services they need, what products they are more profitable with, what their conversion rates are, and just working my way down there so that when I get to my presentation and I say, Annie, based on our conversations, You need X amount of customers to do this. You're looking for this many people to buy your product, whatever it is. You mentioned to me that if 10 people call you, 5 of them will hire you, or if 10 people land on your website, 5 of them will buy from you, whatever the situation is. And you said your average customer is with this, then I can take and use my ROI calculator and say, if we only do half as well as you think you can do, we should be able to get you a return on your investment of 3 to 1, 4 to 1. If we can do exactly what you said, just imagine what that investment would be. How soon would you like to get started? Or, would you like to start with a credit card so we can start these results for you as soon as possible?
Hi, thank you so much for listening to this far into the episode. And if you want to meet successful online entrepreneurs and SEOs just like you, make sure you join the SEO Mastery Summit from April 7 to 11 in the center of Ho Chi Minh City. We'll have over 15 international speakers coming from all over the world and attendees joining to make connections and build their businesses to their best potential in 2024. So our first SEO Mastery Summit event sold out. So make sure you grab your tickets today because we are increasing prices at the end of every single month. So I'll hope to see you there, and let's get back to the episode. Amazing. What other sales techniques do you use on your calls or on your meetings to convert other than the ROI calculation?
I think the biggest thing is to have a conversation and to make everything conversational and to do what it's an old Zig Ziglar phrase. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should be listening twice as much as we talk. So doing a good interview process like you're doing with me, asking open-ended questions, getting them talking, they will give you all the information or all the ammunition, if you will, to be able to sell to them as you go down the road. So those are some of the main things, is just having a process that is going to work, taking your time, and making sure that they understand that your primary goal is their best interests, not that you want to sell them. Because if you want to sell them, then you're just a commodity. You're just the next person down the street. But if I'm concerned about you and I want to try and help you grow your business, make your life better, then we're going to have a better relationship. Because a lot of the people I've been working with them several for 10, 20 years. They wouldn't still be working with me if I was just selling them a product or a commodity. They're working with me because they know I have their best interests at heart and I'm always going to be there for them.
When you start a conversation with someone, do you have some sales in mind? Like, okay, I'm going to sell this person this package, this package, this package, or is it like a genuine conversation turning into something later on?
I'm a believer in what I call like an old school 2-step sales process. So we're going to do a 2 call. Now, I may do a complete needs analysis with you and kind of have an idea of what's going on because I've worked with somebody in your industry before. And so it may not be that I'm hanging up or getting off a call and going to do something else like a day or 2 days or 3 days later. I may say, Annie, do you have 5 minutes? Can you do something on your computer? Give me a few minutes to put together a package for you and a solution that's going to be for you. If not, let's set up tomorrow. Do you have time tomorrow at 9 a.m. or at 2 p.m.? So A, we can do it right there real quick. B, right there, I'm establishing at a time of when they're going to do it. Because one thing with this that I didn't know this until a year ago, this month. Every time you and I are talking, everything you say or everything I say, I'm either taking or giving power to you. And when you reply to me, you're either taking or giving power back to me or keeping it to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because I've seen too many times salespeople would struggle and say, Annie, yeah, I'd like to have a meeting with you. What's your schedule tomorrow? When I say that to you, I'm giving up power to you. I'm giving you the perception that my time isn't valuable because I'm available anytime and you're the one in charge. When I say, Annie, you know what? I'm pretty buried right now. It's amazing how much business we have bringing on right now. If I can squeeze you in tomorrow at 2 or Wednesday at 10, would you have time? Mm-hmm. You see the difference of those 2 presentations? Now I'm the one in charge. I'm the one with power, and you're valuing my time because I'm working you into my busy schedule.
I see. So all these little nuances of where the power is at also influences your sales process?
Yes, because it's how you're presenting yourself. How are you interacting with the customer based on their personality? Are you challenging somebody that's an A-type personality that when you challenge them, they're going to shut down? Are you not inviting and opening up a passive personality because they are kind of cowering in the corner? Are you getting them involved in the conversation? So it's finding ways to communicate with whomever you're communicating with in the best manner and asking the questions, setting things up so that you are in a better position to win and to help.
Amazing. What personality type thing do you or test do you follow to identify how you should talk to your prospect?
When I very first started in sales 20 plus years ago, I read this book, and you can actually find this book and read it online for free. Last time I looked, it was like a PDF. It's called Guerrilla Selling, and the cover's like orange and green. And I don't remember now. I think it's like chapter 7. I try and read about once or twice a year, just to again refamiliarize myself as I'm talking to you. As we're starting this conversation, I'm doing a few things. I'm identifying what type of personality you have by how you're reacting. I'm looking around the room at the plants you have behind you or the towel that's rolled up there, because as I'm identifying your personality, I know how to interact with you.
So some of the sales psychologies or sales techniques you mentioned was getting personal. Like, how do you get personal without getting intimidating?
I think it was the fall of 2018. I kind of had a come to Jesus moment, if you would, and I fired 3 customers in a week because these 3 customers were sucking the life out of me and taking up more time than everyone else combined. And it felt so good and liberating to fire these pain in the what customers. So I sat down and I thought, what is it about these people that I don't want to attract? And what is it about my customers that I like that I do want to attract? And it came down to having similar personal beliefs, goals, ideals, and stuff like that. So from that point, I literally started the next day. I had like 7 calls lined up of people. And I said, okay, Mr. Customer, Mrs. Customer, whoever I was talking to, we're going to take the first 20 minutes of this meeting. I'm going to take the first about 10. I'm going to tell you about me. What makes me get out of bed each day? What am I motivated to do? Personally, donating, giving my time back, giving back. I want you to know who I am as a person. At the end of that, I want you to do the same to me. And then before we even talk business, I want both to agree that we think we're good people to work together. If not, let's not even talk a minute about business, because if we don't have the same goals, personal beliefs, and ideals, it's not going to be a good long-term relationship. So let's just do that. And if either one says no, no hard feelings, we part ways and we go on about our lives. But let's make sure that we have something in common before we start working together. And it's led to me having to fire a lot less clients.
That's awesome. But I guess in order to get to that level, you also have to get to some monetary level, right? Like, I don't know if a lot of people can afford to do this level of vetting, or do you think it should be for everyone?
If you don't, you're constantly going to be chasing your tail. So what is your time worth? Because again, if you're taking somebody, even if they're paying you a decent amount, if they're sucking up all your time so you can't bring on more clients, you can't deliver services to people you're doing it, is it really worth your own personal return on investment for your time to do so? And it was interesting when I did that next day, I think I had like 6 or 7 appointments, and I closed 5 out of the 6 or 7.
Wow.
So it's interesting when you develop and establish that rapport at the beginning. The rest of it is having a conversation, and I'm not a salesperson anymore.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this. I don't think a lot of people take sales the way you do, like the way you create conversations and actually genuinely want to know the other person before you start like a business relationship, right? And it seems like you really value your time and like what you stand up for, so that it leads to a profitable and also flourishing business relationship. Yeah.
I haven't found a way to stretch time yet. Have you?
Mhm.
I only have so many hours a day. I want to get the most out of them.
Exactly. I think that's probably one of the biggest takeaways here. In your experience, what are the key traits of a great salesperson?
I think back to some things I said, they truly have a concern for who they're talking to. They understand the old Zig Ziglar phrase, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. So if you're constantly making sure your client's best interests are at heart, if you're constantly listening, and you're going to be the consummate student, we always need to learn more to help more. I have a lot of clients that I am basically their fractional CMO, kind of like you're talking about being an expiring CMO. So I have this one law firm in the middle of the US that the lead partner will give me crap every year or two. Hey, we just got another customer from this product. That product doesn't make me any money. I saw that product when I was out talking to some other people in their area, thought it was a good marketing venue for them, or a good marketing option. So I suggested to them that they invest in it. If I'm doing something for them that helps them and doesn't do anything for me, do I just establish some credibility pretty good like that?
Hi, if you listen to this far, thank you so much for listening. And if you enjoyed the show, please leave me a review on either Apple Podcast, Spotify, or my YouTube channel. If you have any feedback for the show, please let me know on the Aspiring CMO Podcast social media pages on Facebook and Instagram, or send me an email on my website. Now, let's get back to the episode. I see. Okay. So you basically give out for free first, and then people trust you. So it's basically you build trust first before the.
Well, they were already my client. I just saw a good option for them and said, hey, you should think about doing this. My service is making you money, but if I can see another product or another service that's beneficial for you, I may as well help you do that, because then again, I'm establishing and building rapport so they know that I'm not just looking to get into their wallet or their credit card every time I talk to them. I want to make sure that their lives, their businesses are better.
Amazing. Cool. So the basically a trait of a great salesperson is having the customer at heart, listen, and create genuine conversations.
Yeah, because I mean, like you mentioned at the beginning, people don't like to be sold to. They like to be taken care of. And these are relationships. You know, you're going to have that personal business crossover if you work with people for more than 6 months. You know, at a year, you're going to have times when they're going to call you with a question that has nothing to do with you, but they value your opinion or they think that you have knowledge of things. I probably get, I don't know, 3 to 5 emails a week from a customer that says, hey, Glenn, how do I do this? You know what I do? I go to Google, I go to YouTube, I get a little solution answer. And I said, hey, there's how you do this. I knew you would know how to do it. Thanks, buddy. We just know how to do research, and you help them do something. I could have easily said, I don't know, you might want to do the research yourself. But if I take 5 minutes, now I'm that resource. I'm that, you know, they say, I got a guy, I got a girl. I want to be that guy they have that always is a solution for them and will help them make their lives easier.
It's almost like that. I think I take this psychology or like this mentality into my work too, so that when I see a problem, even though it's like not my job, but I try to help because I'm also doing other things on the side. And it's almost like you're just trying to be a good team player. Like you're just trying to help and be genuine when you have the time, you do it. And yep. Do you have problems setting boundaries when you do something like this for multiple people?
No, I have no problem saying, Annie, it's 5 o'clock on a Friday. Don't call me at 5 o'clock on a Friday. I don't work at 5 o'clock on Fridays. And it's establishing some of those boundaries at the beginning. You know, it's kind of like having a child. You have to tell them, no, you can't do this. Yes, you can do that. I've had customers that will reach out to me on a Saturday and I said, get a hold of me on Monday. This isn't urgent. I've had to train people for years that I don't work Friday afternoons. Fridays afternoons, my time, not your time. And so literally I have people that will send a message of, oops, sorry, Glenn, forgot it was Friday afternoon. I'll talk to you on Monday. So it's just, again, establishing boundaries. Clients are like children. You just have to teach them what to do.
Exactly. Sometimes I feel like with my managers too, like I just need to set better boundaries as well.
That's
Like,
all about giving and taking power.
I see. Now that you have your own business though, like how much time do you devote for sales versus operations? Like how does your agency divide the time like that?
It just depends on where I'm at. I'm fortunate enough that if I don't want to, I don't have to go out and really push to bring on sales. I have a good enough client network and client base that I get referrals from them. So like last year, I kind of basically screwed off for the year and was on vacation and worked about 10 or 15 hours a week. This year, I decided, you know what, it's time for me to start building another level of my client base or my business, because you don't know what could happen to somebody. And I don't want to be in a place where I have to work. I like being in a place where I want to work. So right now I'm probably spending, 20-30% of my time in growth and probably another 30% running the company. I don't ever want to work 100% of a day or 100% of a weekend. That would become like work and not fun.
Yeah, exactly. We just want fun. That's one of my values too.
I figure if I can work 5 hours a day, that's pretty good. I had been working 2, so that's like almost 150% more.
Exactly. That's fantastic. And now with all your years of experience and hiring so many people, what is your number one advice for aspiring CMOs?
My advice for what are you wanting to do? I mean, that's a very broad question. What my advice for as you're hiring somebody, as you're trying to find new clients, my advice for what?
For somebody who want to level up in leadership and marketing.
Learn personalities so that whoever you're talking with, you know how to deal with them better. Learn a little bit about whatever you're going to try and promote. You don't have to be the best person at doing it. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but you have to know enough to have a conversation. It's exactly like sales. It was kind of funny. I remember a long time ago, back when I worked at a phone book, I had a young woman that used to be my sales manager at a gym I worked at. And I just worked part-time because I wanted a free gym membership. And she did a good job. She was a good person. She was actually my workout partner, the best workout partner I had up until that point. She would work harder than any guy had. We really grew a lot. She did bodybuilding. So, I mean, she was just, she taught me all kinds of cool workout things. Anyway, I digress. She came with to ride along to see if she wanted a job with this phone book. And so literally that day we're out knocking on doors, cold calling businesses. And we walked into this, I'm gonna call like a strip mall, probably 5 or 6 different businesses, all different industries. And I walk in and I start talking to find out who I need to talk to, a little bit about their business. And we got back in the car after those 10 cold calls and she said, you have to know about every industry, all this stuff in order to do what you do? I said, no, I need to know enough to ask a question to get them talking. I don't need to know everything about their business. I need to know just a little bit. So it's the same thing if you're a CMO. You better know a little bit about digital. You better know a little bit about TV, about radio, about whatever they're going to do, and be confident enough in yourself to say, you know what? I really don't have an answer to that, Ani. Can I get back to you in a day or two? I know someone that has the answer. So have a good broad range of knowledge and not be afraid to say, I don't know.
Amazing. Fantastic, Glenn. I think I learned a lot from this interview, but also I think the listeners can learn a lot too. And the reason I wanted to bring up sales in this podcast again, because I feel like sales goes way beyond just like numbers in and out. And today you have taught us a lot about dealing with other people, how to manage yourself, and just putting up mental, like kind of like break down mental boundaries in a way too, right? Yeah. And if people would like to reach out to you, how can they find you?
Well, my website's Elite Web Co. So ELITEWEBCO.com, or I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, Instagram. Reach out to me, message me anywhere. We'll try and find some time where we could set up a time and jump on a call like this and get to know one another.
Amazing. Awesome, Glenn. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you. We look forward to Vietnam. Yeah. I look forward to my birthday presents.
All right. See you soon.